Before we begin, please be aware that this podcast contains discussion of sensitive topics, such as abuse of minors, of vulnerable adults, and safeguarding practices. Some content may be distressing or triggering for listeners. This program is intended for an adult audience. If you or someone you know is affected by these issues, we encourage you to seek support from a trusted professional or a local support service. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome to this special edition of Inside Safeguarding, the official podcast of the Pontifical Commission for the Protection of Minors. From Rome, I'm William Roberts from the Commission's communications team. In this episode, we take a step away from our usual format to mark an important moment in the life of the Commission. After years of dedicated service, Teresa Morris Kettelkamp is concluding her role as Adjunct Secretary of the Commission. It is with a heavy heart, profound sadness and gratitude that the Commission bids Teresa goodbye. Her departure offers an opportunity to reflect on a body of work that has helped shape safeguarding practice within the Church in very concrete ways. At a time when the Church continues to confront the consequences of past failures and to build systems capable of preventing future harm, that kind of grounded operational leadership, such as the one provided by Teresa, has been essential. And today we have the opportunity to speak with her directly. So please join me on this special edition of Inside Safeguarding. Welcome back to this special edition of Inside Safeguarding, where we're joined by Teresa Morris Kettelkamp. Teresa has worked with the Commission for the past 11 years and has served as Adjunct Secretary for the past 2, contributing significantly to its work over the recent years. Her career spans decades of public service in law enforcement and safeguarding, bringing a level of practical expertise that has been instrumental in shaping policy into action. Teresa, welcome, and thank you very much for joining us.
Well, thank you. I appreciate this time to talk with you and talk a little bit about my position and, what I'm all about.
Let's begin at the beginning, Teresa. You've had a long and distinguished career in safeguarding, spanning multiple roles within law enforcement, among others, before joining the Commission. Could you take us through that journey? What first brought you into this field and what sustained your commitment over time?
Well, that's a good question. I think my time in law enforcement reinforced my belief that integrity is critical if you're going to be effective. And that same principle applies to the Catholic Church as well. And part of maintaining integrity is accountability. And as I give this serious thought, I think those institutions that hold the public trust cannot automatically assume anymore that they automatically have credibility and they automatically will be assumed that they deserve the public trust that previously had been given to them, because they've lost the public trust. I think law enforcement in some ways has lost the public trust, and I also think the Catholic Church, through the clergy abuse crisis, has lost the public trust. As we mentioned before, one of the positions I held with the Illinois State Police was at the head of a division called the Division of Internal Investigation, and that division was responsible for investigating all wrongdoings in the state police as well as under the executive branch of government, which specifically included the agencies, boards, commissions, departments under the governor's office. So in this division, we investigated allegations of wrongdoing of our own officers, as well as allegations of wrongdoing in other agencies. And it made me realize that this accountability factor was a foundational piece in maintaining credibility, because we sought integrity as a core part of our service to the public. So that concept stayed with me as I came to work for the Catholic Church in a time that our integrity in the Catholic Church was being seriously challenged with the clergy abuse crisis. Initially, I worked with the United States Conference of Catholic Bishops in auditing managerial audits of their charter for the protection of children and young people, and then headed that office. And the goal there was to maintain an accountability measure for the Catholic Church to implement the charter in a way that it would support victims and survivors and help restore the public trust of the Catholic Church in the U.S. And I think that has been one of the templates that we have used globally, as well as other templates like the one that Ireland established.
And during your time with the Commission, you've worked across very different cultural and institutional contexts. So from your perspective, what are the most significant shifts you've seen in how safeguarding is understood within the global church?
I can quickly answer that one. The whole shift in the awareness of the importance of the church's responsibility to safeguard children and the vulnerable. I know we automatically assume that's part of our job, but we did not actively develop policies and procedures and guidelines to give the church direction on how to do that. So the awareness specifically of our role as Catholics to safeguard children, to prevent them from being harmed, to reduce risk, is now hopefully slowly being built into the culture of the church. Also, the importance of safeguarding, um, just to digress a little bit, I remember talking to some people who did not even know what safeguarding meant. It was a concept. I know maybe in their heart they got it, but when you talk about, do you have any safeguarding policies, procedures, they just drew a blank. I don't think that exists anymore. I think people are aware that safeguarding children and the vulnerable are part of who we are, or part of who we should be, that integrity is part of who we are, which ties to accountability. And I'll say this, if the church wants to regain her voice in many other matters, social matters, she needs to regain her credibility with regard to protecting the vulnerable. She will never have her voice as strong as it was before and automatically assumed if she doesn't uphold the safeguarding of children and the vulnerable.
You've worked within two major institutions that, in different ways, carry a similar responsibility to protect and to serve: the Illinois State Police on one part and the Catholic Church on the other. So when it comes to safeguarding, accountability, and public trust, how do you compare the challenges these two institutions face? And what, if anything, can the church learn from the structures and culture of accountability developed in law enforcement?
That's a two-part question. I hope I can cover both. Okay, let's do the first one. The similarities are almost identical. Sometimes when I compare my time with the Illinois State Police and my time with the church, I often laugh because in law enforcement agencies, you have headquarters, you have quote unquote uniforms, you have chains of command. Um, we have protocol here, we have policies and procedures in law enforcement. And then you come over to the Catholic Church, and we have headquarters here in Rome. um, our clerics are in quote unquote uniform. Both are male dominated with regard to leadership. So the issues are the same, to include a once presumed automatic credibility with regard to public trust. Both have been eroded for various reasons. And I think the accountability that has been established in law enforcement with investigations such as the one I held, you have also offices called inspections and audits. You have auditor generals in law enforcement and in the state. So there are a number of layered accountability measures that I think the church would greatly benefit from integrating itself or herself into those measures as well. We need a checks and balances. You know, people are just human. We expect our clergy to be know everything about everything. We expect the Catholic Church at times to be everything to everybody. And we're just comprised of human beings too. But with that comes an accountability that we are to be held to keep our responsibilities as accurate and as problem-free and sin-free as possible.
Looking back on your time with the Commission, are there any particular moments or initiatives that stand out to you? Instances where you felt that real progress was being made?
Well, a couple things that have impressed me. I participated by Zoom in some safeguarding training in Africa at the invitation of our African member. And to see the receptivity of those bishops was very reassuring. They were kind, they were attentive, they listened. I did not notice any pushback at that time. And I'm not saying we don't have pushback in the church on these issues because it's new and it kind of goes against some people's understanding of their responsibility. But the gospel is very clear. It's our moral responsibility to protect those who need protecting. The other time that comes to mind is our recent meeting with the Holy Father I think it was like last Monday. And he knew exactly what we were working on. I mean, it's like we wrote this speech for him, which I don't think we did. But he knew exactly what our mandates were. He knew what we were working on. He complimented them, and that is very reinforcing that the work that we are doing is being recognized and supported by the Holy Father. I was just so very impressed and pleased that he had the comments that he had.
Now, Teresa, as you step away from your role as Adjunct Secretary, what do you see as the priorities moving forward? What should the Commission's focus be in the coming years?
We are just now, again, good question. We are just now finalizing our universal safeguarding guidelines. I can't emphasize enough the importance of these guidelines, which incorporate internal and external audits, how to create a safe environment. So once those are finalized and approved by the Holy Father, implementation starts, and I am thrilled that that's right around the corner. I think that will be a game changer globally, not only for the Catholic Church, because I see other entities needing guidelines as well, other churches, other um, institutions. So I think our implementation of universal safeguarding guidelines will be a global game changer, not only within the Catholic Church, but with other entities as well. And having said that, I also think that there's a purposefulness in why the Catholic Church has gone through this purification period with safeguarding. I think God planned, not that he has directly spoken to me, of course, but is to use our work to help the whole world, not just the Catholic Church, but help other areas where children are at risk and the vulnerable are harmed. So I think there's a global godly mandate behind all of this. Also, the annual report is a phenomenal tool. It's a phenomenal research tool, and it's a phenomenal tool to give the Holy Father kind of a snapshot of where we are globally in the Catholic Church with regard to keeping children safe. And there are quite a few in every report that talk about recommendations and ideas on how to improve our work in the world. And as I said this before, the annual report is not a gotcha moment for any Episcopal conference or religious institution. It's just shining a light on areas in which we are strong and shining a light in areas which need improvement. And we have promised, and this is not an empty promise, that we will walk with people to improve their safeguarding policies and procedures. And lastly, we have an initiative called the Memorare Initiative. It's a local capacity building initiative, and I just see the expansion of that will help the Episcopal conferences at the local level to provide formation and training and victim victim assistance services to their people where they are. So those are the three things. Those are our three mandates. But as I look into the future, those have gone through quite a lot of development, and I think now they're at a place that they also are game changers. I know I've used that word quite a bit, but I think it's appropriate in this environment that we are game changers in the world with regard to safeguarding.
And finally, on a more personal note, after such an intense period of service here with us, what comes next for you personally?
Well, family. These are my priorities. These have always been my priorities. God first, my family second, and then work. And I have 6 grandchildren. The oldest is 9, and he was born when I was here. And the youngest will turn a year in April. And that little one, who's just cute as it can be, she had emergency open heart surgery 5 days after she was born, and that was a surprise to us. We thought we were going to have a healthy baby, or my daughter. We all thought it's my daughter's daughter. And then after the open heart surgery, first of all, she was premature, then she had open heart surgery. So it's been a long road the last year, and I'm hoping to spend more time in support of her and my daughter. Now, my granddaughter, Maddie, is doing phenomenal, and I attribute that all to prayers that literally thousands of people have said for her. She's happy, she's thriving, she's crawling, which was, you don't, I took a lot for granted having a healthy baby. I had 2 healthy children. I never gave a second's thought they would not be healthy. And we never gave a second's thought that little Maddie would not be healthy. But she now has a number of challenges, and I hope to spend my time with my family, all 6 little grandchildren, but especially help my daughter with Maddie.
Oh, definitely, Teresa, and allow me to offer on behalf of myself and everyone here at the Commission our most heartfelt thoughts and prayers for Maddie.
Oh, thank you. They work, they prayers work. Yeah.
And on a personal level, Teresa, I wanted to thank you because when I joined the Commission from day one, you were amongst the most welcoming and kind people here, and I really, really appreciate you for that.
It's been wonderful, and I wish you the best. Thank you.
Thank you. And there you have it. That was Teresa Morris Kettelkamp stepping down as the Adjunct Secretary of the Commission. If you would like to hear more about Teresa's work and the wider mission of the Commission, please visit us at tutelaminorum.va. You can also subscribe to Inside Safeguarding on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube, where future episodes will be published regularly. Thank you for listening. I'm William Roberts. Until next time.